Hey guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to another rules breakdown. This time we're going to be looking at Chill, Adventures into the Unknown. It came out from Pacesetter Games in 1984. Now this obviously is an older game, so we can expect some charts in it. But I was very pleasantly surprised when I looked through it. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. Now as usual, we'll need a character, so I have chosen the first one out of the book, Pablo Bubba Rodriguez. Why did I choose him? Because he was first. Why the heck not? Anyway, let's get on and have a look through the rules of Chill, Adventures into the Unknown. And so, skills. Well, skills are a standard percentile check. On page 3 of the introductory booklet, we've got mention of the general check. So, we look at the character sheets, and we are choosing from his basic abilities. So, let's try and say he's trying to spot something. He's going to be using his perception, which is 50. We're going to be rolling a percentile. We get 83, so he fails. It's as simple as that. For combat, we're going to be using the action table, but we'll come on to those in a wee minute. And so initiative. Well, it's a simple D10 roll. It's dealt with on page 27, down in the corner here, initiative. Each side rolls a D10, and then you alternate between sides. So the players roll a D10. They get a 5. The Games Master rolls a D10. Gets an 8, so the Games Master is going first, and then the players alternating between each side. And so combat. Well, it's dealt with on page 32 of the main booklet. Basically, you're applying a modifier based whether you're using range combat. If we move on to page 36, we can see missile combat modifiers. And then page 38, we've got melee combat modifiers. But we'll not bother with any of those at the moment, because we're just doing a basic one. So going back to page 32, we see that we are rolling on the skill. So we'll say that he's doing his melee attack. He's got 61% chance. So we're rolling against that. He rolls 70 because that's a 0. I don't know why my dice roll is adding that. And he fails. He's rolled over his 61. However, if he succeeded, that would lead on to determining damage. And damage. Now, I've re-rolled to make him succeed, because determining damage is based on you succeeding. Obviously, you don't do any damage if you don't succeed. So he has succeeded by rolling a 13, which the difference between his skill of that is 48. Now, looking at the action table, we see that his skill is 61, so it's in this column, and 48 is here. So he has done an MK. So unarmed, he has done medium damage, doing 2d10 times 2 points of damage. And a K, which is a knockdown. So the opponent's knocked down and back 5 feet. Unfinished actions this round are cancelled. So we are throwing, as you said, 2d10 times 2. So he has done 9 points of damage, 18 points of damage. Now these come off his stamina. So his stamina is 62. He's taken 18 points off that. So he'll keep track of those as well. However, also on the chart, we can see other effects. So we get things like record 1 scratch wound if we've received harsh damage, or 1 light wound. And with heavier weapons, we've got critical wounds. Now, looking at the back of the character sheet, we can see that we mark these off. So when we receive a scratch wound, if we do, apart from just having the stamina damage, we mark one of these off. And each time we fill them up. So 2 scratches equal a light, 2 lights equal a medium, carrying on down until you receive critical damage. And it's at that point you drop, or when you get to 0 stamina. So health, as I said, is based on your stamina. And you've got those wounds on the back that you can mark off, which will take longer to heal back. Now, your stamina heals back by bed rest, basically. You sleep and heal it back, and it's completely healed between adventures. But you've also got willpower damage for fear effects. If we look back at the action table, we can see that you can be rolling for fear effects. and you can lose that. So if you fail, you lose 2d20 points, and you must flee or cower in fear for the remainder of the round. Lose 1d10 if you're scared. Getting a L, which would be light damage, but in this it's lily-livered, you lose 1d10 divided by 2. So you take willpower damage, and it lowers as well until you will be failing those rolls and running away. So you've got mental damage and you've got physical damage to keep track of, both of which are healed by sleeping and between adventures. And so advancement. Well, you gain insight points. It details this on page 11 of the campaign book. So you get points based on the monsters you're fighting, and you get many thousands of points. There's quite a bit of math involved here. It's not nice low numbers. And increasing skills, for example, increasing your rank from student to teacher costs 750. From teacher to master costs 1,000. A character cannot spend 1,250 for teacher rank in a skill he did not have before the adventure. He can only attain student rank. You can increase basic ability scores 500 points to increase any basic ability 1 point. And you can buy the art, which are magical psychic powers within the game as well. But they are all vast amounts of experience you get and vast amounts you spend. So that's Chill Adventures into the Unknown. And while I'm not the biggest fan of having to look up charts and tables, the fact that it's one chart on the back of the book, so it's really easy to find, kind of gets around that. And it's the one chart which handles absolutely everything. So from melee damage to projectile damage to arm damage to mental damage, it's all handled on that one chart with everything detailed below. Very, very simple to pick up and learn. And I like it a lot. There's a simplicity to this system which is very, very charming, especially when you're considering you're going up various traditional monsters, vampires, werewolves, etc. You're not going up to fight unknown creatures from beyond human comprehension. It's just really basic creatures, and everything's kind of done by the end of the adventure. You get your experience, everything's healed. You don't have to worry about falling insane over multiple adventures because all your mental health damage is healed. A very fun system, something I like a lot, and I'm kind of looking forward to looking at Chill's second edition to see whether it kept that charm or whether it lost it and became overly complex, as many games do. But anyway, I think I've been wittering on for quite long enough, so thank you very much for watching. But as always, most of all, you look after yourselves, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.